Week two, last week was technically week one, where we kind of broke down what to actually expect and a little bit about Eric Worre and Pro Code in the entire book. Week two was chapters one, chapters two, and chapters three. And chapters one was all about why network marketing, why this business model, why this industry specifically. And he talks about how AI is taking millions and millions and millions and millions of jobs. The cost of living is constantly rising. Talks about how companies are firing thousands of people. The reality is that your average person will go through 12 jobs in their lifetime. That's a fact. And so this is a quote from page one out of the book. He said, people everywhere are looking for options, including going into business for themselves. That's where network marketing comes in. It offers many of the benefits of business ownership without the risks and the barriers that stop most people before they ever start. And so let me make sure everyone's muted. Okay, cool. So in the book, in chapter one, he highlighted 8 key benefits of this industry. He said, number one, it's accessible. And let me actually just go to the chapters here really quick. He said, number one, it's accessible. It doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter your race, your religion, your background. It's accessible for everybody. If you're 18 years old, then you're able to get started in this business, right? And then he said there's support. Everybody here has access to people who have made a full-time income, six-figure income, seven-figure income. You have support, you have mentorship, you have people that are willing to help you out. If you go start a traditional business, dude, you're creating competition for other businesses. You're not going to have support 9 times out of 10. The third thing that he said was it's flexible. It's around your schedule and you could build it around, if you have your 9 to 5, if you have, for me, I had multiple jobs when I started, right? Jobs, school, kids, work, whatever the case is, you could fit it where you fit it in. That's number three. Number four, it's learnable. These are skills that anybody can learn. It's not rocket science to learn the PS3 system, right? It's not rocket science to learn the TikTok strategy. It's not rocket science to learn the basics of this business. If there was a class on this industry, it'd be a very, very easy class to actually pass. So it's learnable. It's not like a skill that only certain people can develop. Number five is it's fair. Everybody has the same products, services, compensation plan. We all have the same support system. We all have access to the same events, and it's completely fair. If you put in the work, if you bring in a certain amount of customers and affiliates, if you hit a certain rank, you're going to get paid. It doesn't matter, if someone likes you, if someone doesn't like you. It doesn't matter about politics. None of that stuff matters. It's the most fair. It's the most fair opportunity that there is. Number five. Number six is leverage. And why would you get paid 1%? Or I'm sorry, why would you get paid 100% of your own efforts, right? You would rather get 1% of 100 people's efforts. So you have the opportunity for leverage. Number seven, he said it's proven and profitable. And I like these numbers. I'm a numbers person, so let me break this down. He said this profession is not a fad or a get-rich scheme. It's been around since 1945. It operates in virtually every country in the world. It's one of the most highly regulated business models in existence with consumer protections at every level. With network marketing, you have real customers, real products, and a real income opportunity. Just to give you some context, there's roughly 100 million people in network marketing. It generates about $200 billion per year in annual revenue. Approximately 40% of that revenue goes directly back to affiliates in the form of commissions. That's about 80 billion paid to distributors and affiliates every single year. That's $200 million per day flowing into the hands of affiliates, whether they're big, making a lot of money, or whether they're small, making a couple $100 a month. So number seven, this business is proven It's been around for a long time and it's very, very profitable just based off of the numbers. And then last but not least is it's bigger than a paycheck. Shout out to Kelsey. I could see that Kelsey's been taking it super, super serious. She already had all the bullet points locked in. And I think that, let me just read this part from the book. It's bigger than a paycheck. He said this. I know it's hard to believe, but being involved in network marketing is extremely valuable, even if you never earn a dollar. The personal development, the environment, the people, the community, the ability to help other people, the shared values, and the relationships alone are powerful reasons to be involved. Yes, the money is amazing. Obviously, we're all here to make more money. But for someone who's new that's getting involved and they're starting a business and they might not make money right away because it takes a little bit of time to build up, it's still worth it no matter what because of the value that they're going to get for being involved. So those are the 8 key benefits that he breaks down in chapter 1. All right. Let me ask you guys a question. Out of these 8 benefits, which one are you most excited about personally? Which one is it to you where you see the most value? Why did you get started personally? Drop a number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8. I'm just curious what you guys think. Bigger than a paycheck. Adrian said 3, it's flexible. 4, it's learnable. 3 and 7, it's flexible and it's fair. You know what? You know what's not in here that should be in here? Unlimited income potential. I guess that's also in its fair category, but kind of sort of not really. But unlimited income potential. If I had to add a 9th key benefit, you can go out there and make as much money as you want to make. No one's going to stop you from putting in work, and you can, whatever you put in is what you're going to get out. So I guess that is kind of along with the it's fair category. Cool. All right, chapter 2. Chapter 2 is how most people get this industry wrong. The opportunity of network marketing is real, the income potential is real, personal growth is real, the freedom that it can create is real. But let's be honest about something. We've hurt ourselves, not because the profession itself is bad, but because of some of the ways that people promote it. Let's break it down. There's the approach problem. For decades, people in network marketing have been approached in certain ways that make them feel uncomfortable. And every time this happens, it damages the reputation of the entire profession. So most people, when they're approaching other people, they do it wrong, right? Maybe someone you haven't heard from in years suddenly messages you with a hey stranger, and then within 30 seconds, they're pitching you their product or their business opportunity. Maybe it's the person at a party who can't wait to tell you about something exciting. Maybe it's the friend who starts with a compliment but quickly pivots into a sales pitch. The truth is most people hate being approached this way. And even worse, they also assume if they join that is how that they're going to have to do the same thing to other people. How many of you guys have ever heard people say, "Hey, I don't want to bother my friends. I don't want to bother my family." This alone stops countless good people from ever giving this profession a real chance. So a lot of what people have experienced over the years has felt pushy, awkward, transactional, and inauthentic. I'm gonna say that again. A lot of what people have experienced over the years has felt pushy, awkward, transactional, and inauthentic. And most people were not taught how to do it the right way. So they move fast, they pitch way too soon, and they use exaggerated language. With this approach, instead of creating curiosity, it creates resistance. Prospects immediately put their guard up because nobody likes feeling hunted or tricked. Nobody likes wondering if the only reason why someone reached out to them is just to sell them on something. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So that's problem number 1, is the approach problem within this industry. That's how most people get it wrong. Now, number 2 is the expectation problem. You guys have heard me say this a million times, but I'll say it again. The 2 biggest misconceptions are quick and easy. People want to get rich quick, and people want it to be super, super easy. I tell people, yo, listen, it's not going to be quick. My mentor told me, yo, this is a 2 to 4 year plan to become financially free. If you actually put in 2 to 4 years of being consistent, of being serious, of going to every meeting, of hopping on every call and actually putting in the work daily, being consistent, not just showing up and hopping on a Zoom call, but actually applying the information, then maybe within 2 to 4 years you could become financially free. For a lot of people, it'll happen a lot faster. For some people, it'll take a little bit longer, but at the end of the day, who cares how long it's going to take? Time goes by like that. But we got to set real expectations for people. So there's quick, and then the second one is easy. The thing about this business is if it was easy, then everybody would be making a full-time income. Everybody would be making a six-figure income. Everybody would be making a seven-figure income. And I love this I love this part of the book where it says, actually, I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll come back. We'll come back to that. But expectations, right? We can't set the wrong expectations for people. We have to let people know the reality and what to actually expect from this industry. Hey, it's not going to be quick. Hey, it's not going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it. Now on page 24, he talks about how most people will be tourists. And I think that this is a very important idea. So I'm going to talk about it. Most people will be tourists. He actually broke down the numbers. He said that most people treat this business like a lottery. And in fact, let me actually find exactly what he said. Let me see. Most people who join this industry don't join with the intention of treating it like a business. They're coming in to see if they can get lucky and make some money quickly, like a lottery ticket. They join with a few names of friends or family that they think might be interested in their product or opportunity without any real skill, no training, and zero effort. By the time they burn through their short list and heard no from everybody, they do what anyone does. They realize their lottery ticket didn't pay off, they rip it and they walk away. Most people come into this never intending to build a real business. They're just passing through like tourists. Now, I want to be clear, tourists aren't bad. It's a natural part of what we do. Think of it like Las Vegas. Vegas loves tourists. The whole town is built around them. They come in, they catch a show, they have a dinner, they gamble a little, they buy a 3 foot tall margarita, they snap a photo with it. Vegas knows that they're not going to live there, and that's fine. The tourists are part of the experience. Network marketing is the same way. A lot of people come in, buy products for a discount, dabble for a season, and then move on. Some of them get a few customers, make a little money, have a great time, learn something different about themselves, but ultimately their life takes a different direction. That's not a failure of the profession. That's just how it works. Let me show some overall recruiting numbers. So he said, look, 70% of people have recruited 0 people. Isn't that crazy? 7 out of 10 people that come into this business recruit 0, none at all. They approximately 20% of people have recruited between 1 and 2 people. They've recruited 1 or 2 people. Approximately 5% of people have only recruited 3 to 5 people. 3% have recruited 6 to 9, and only 2% of people have recruited more than 10 plus people. These are the people that you can consider maybe relatively serious. That leaves just 2% of all affiliates who have recruited 10 or more, meaning 98% of all people are effectively tourists. They're mostly buying products at a discount, selling a few products, or they're dabbling with the idea of entrepreneurship. And I think that you and I would agree that if you want to build a business that lasts, at some point you'd obviously have to recruit more than 10 people. So you want to become a part of the 2%. When we take a closer look at the 2% of affiliates who recruit 10 or more, we begin to see a clearer picture. Unlike the 98% who are tourists, the 2% drive everything. They're responsible for 70% of all recruiting, averaging more than 27 recruits each. From my perspective, everybody starts as a tourist and then they graduate to the 2%. And when they cross that threshold of recruiting their 10th person, and their real business journey begins. And this is normal. This kind of gap between top performers and everyone else isn't unique to network marketing. The same pattern shows up across every field. I use the example of real estate. Nine out of 10 people that get involved in real estate never sell a single home. Does that mean that real estate does not work? Of course not, right? Same thing here. Here's the example of basketball. Half a million kids play high school basketball, and only 540 end up in the NBA, as an example. Or music. 40 million people play the piano, and 200 are elite solo concert pianists. In every field, a small percentage rises to the top, and the rest either stay casual or move on. So it's completely normal. But here's the difference. The difference is that in those fields, you might need to be 6'7" tall or a child prodigy to actually have a breakthrough. In network marketing, the price of entry to get to the top 2% is only 10 personal recruits, and it's something that anybody can actually do. That's the difference, all right? So this quote is from page 28. The first goal is to graduate from being a tourist to becoming the 2%. And then the second goal is becoming a true professional where you actually learn the skills. Becoming a part of the 2% is not where the journey ends, it's where it begins. That's where, okay, cool, you're actually taking this half serious. Now, let's get you to learn the skills, to get the skill set, to get the mindset to actually become a professional in this industry so that you can make professional money. Now, next, chapter 3 is how to get this industry right. So we talked about the value of this industry, why this industry. We talked about why most people get it wrong. Chapter 3 is how to actually do it the right way. Let's jump into it. Talks about building genuine relationships. A professional doesn't move through the world looking for somebody to pitch. They look to build relationships everywhere that they go. Think about the approaches we covered in the last chapter, the pivots, the pressures, the awkward reach outs. Professionals don't do any of that. They let conversations happen without an agenda. And when the business eventually naturally comes up, because people just want to know what you do, it doesn't even land like a pitch. Can I give you guys 2 examples of that, of me like personally that have happened recently? Is that okay with you guys? Let me know in the chat box. All right, cool. Example. Yesterday, we had our team culture night. And what did we do? We got a boat. We were on the boat. We had a driver on the boat. And I had no intention of actually pitching this person. Seemed like a sharp person, and we were just chatting. We were just there chatting on the boat. And I asked him, "Hey, what else do you do outside of this?" And he told me what he did outside of this. And he said, "Hey, what do you do?" And I said, "Hey, we have a community and we all trade together." He said, "I've been looking to get into trading." And then I told him about our trade night tomorrow, and he's coming tomorrow. That was it. The same thing happened to me recently on the plane. I just traveled to California recently, and I was sitting next to this guy, and he happened to I don't even know if he started the conversation with me or if I started the conversation with him. I don't remember, but I hadn't, again, I just am building relationships everywhere that I go. And here's the thing, not everyone's going to want to join your business, and maybe you can still add value to them, or maybe they might add value to you in some way, shape, or form. So it's just about building relationships wherever you go. Anyways, he happened to work at the same hotel at where I used to valet at like a million years ago. And he was like super, super high up, in that hotel. And we just struck up a conversation, and he just happened to be interested in investing and trading, right? And I got his information, and now he's, checking out the information. So that's the goal. The goal is just, to build relationships everywhere you go. When you ask someone what they do, 9 times out of 10, they're going to ask you what you do, and it's going to naturally come up. And if they're interested, amazing. If not, amazing. But you never know how everyone knows that their network is their net worth. And, but for some reason, I just feel like people are so, what's the word I'm looking for? People will be so like they'll pitch people too soon, number one. Number two is even if people aren't interested, they'll stop building relationships with that person. And it's like, dude, you have no idea how that relationship might benefit you in the future or how you could add value to them in the future. You just never know. So you just want to keep relationships with people regardless. So that is the key. Like I said earlier, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Build genuine relationships with people wherever you go, whether it's in person every single day, whether it's online every single day, both. Next, the next way to get it right is to tell the truth. You don't need to oversell. The truth is good enough. That's one of the quotes from the book, and it's so true. In my words, I would say under promise and over deliver to people. If you under promise and over deliver, the only reason why people quit is because they had false expectations of things. If they thought it was going to be quick and they thought it was going to be easy and they realized that, dude, this is taking longer than I thought and this is harder than I thought, that's why they end up quitting. That's the only reason. If you keep it real with people up front, if you tell them the truth, listen, the skill set is hard to learn. This business is hard to do. It's going to take some time, but it's going to be worth it. Yes, you have unlimited income potential. Yes, you're going to be able to become financially free. Yes, you're going to be able to do this. Yes, you're going to be able to do that. But here's the reality. And you just let them know the reality of the situation. People are going to respect you because what do most people do? Most people do the opposite. Most people blow smoke up people's ass and just tell them, dude, it's going to be so easy. Come in, you're going to get rich, blah, 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 blah. And then when that doesn't happen, what does that do to your reputation? People are going to respect you when you tell the truth. People are going to join when you tell the truth. People are going to stay when you tell the truth. Even if you could sign up 1 million people based off of exaggerating to people, they're all going to quit in the next 30 days because it wasn't as easy as they thought it was going to be. On page 34, I love this quote. He talked about pretend that you invested $50,000 into this business. He said, imagine you invested $50,000 into this traditional business. How much more serious would you treat this business? The problem is, it was only a couple $100 for you to join, so you treat it like, oh my God, dude, it's not that. If it works out, amazing. If it doesn't, amazing. If you invested 50,000, if you invested $100,000 of your own money into this business, how serious would you take this business? I love that idea on page 34. Hard is the point. I love this chapter or this part of the chapter as well. Talks about hard is the point. Said part of getting it right is accepting that the work is hard and it's hard for a reason. If building a network marketing business was easy, if everybody could do it without developing new skills or pushing through discomfort, companies wouldn't need to pay the kind of money that they pay. Maybe you're brand new on this call. I don't know if you're a brand new affiliate, but if you're not, then you know people in this industry that are making 10,000 a month, 25,000 a month, 50,000 a month, 100,000 a month. I'm personally friends with people that have made a lot more than that, 10 times more than that. So companies they wouldn't need to pay that kind of money if it was easy, right? Hard is the point. There are two major moments in every network marketing. Oh yeah, this is the last slide that I got for you guys. The last idea that I took away from chapter 3 is 100% responsibility. He said, look, there are two major moments in your network marketing career. The first day is the day that you join, and the second day is that you decide to get serious about it. And then talks about how, look, I spent years thinking success was going to come from somewhere outside of me, the right company, the right upline, the right timing. And it wasn't until I stopped waiting for all of that and I took 100% responsibility for my own results, that's when things start to shift. The moment that you blame other people, upline, downline, the company, the timing, whatever, the moment that you blame things outside of your control, you take away power from the one person that has the ability to change your life, which is who? Which is yourself. But the moment that you take 100% responsibility for your success and also for your failure, that's when you have the ability to actually change your results. So, with that being said, guys, that is kind of a summary of my key takeaways from the first few chapters of Pro Code. If you haven't got the book, here's the link. Grab it really quick and make sure you get it before next Sunday because we're doing this call every single Sunday at the same time. For the next week, between now and next Sunday, which is August 16th. Make sure to read chapters 4, 5. Wait, let me double check. Let me make sure that's right. Yeah, that's right, I think. Chapters 4, 5, 6, and 7. Yeah, that is correct. It's about, let me see how many pages it is. It's about 40 pages. So less than 10 pages a day. You guys can knock it out tonight if you really wanted to. But yeah, make sure you guys knock out these next few chapters because again, we're just summarizing, we're skimming through the ideas, that the actual like in-depth breakdowns, the stories, the analogies, the breakthroughs you're gonna get by actually reading the actual book. So go back to the affiliate chat and let me share my other screen here for 1 second. Go back over here, guys, to the affiliate chat in the chat box here. And I want to see everybody drop their biggest breakthrough that they got from either this call or from the first few chapters that you read on your own. Either way, I want to see what you guys took away personally. So drop, whether it's a quote, whether it's an idea, whether it was an analogy, a story, whatever the case is. And let's make sure that I see a lot of the same people in the affiliate chat every single day. I want to see everybody on here more active in here every single day. Whether it's the accountability, the signups list, just the chat in general. I want to see a lot more activity because again, the more that you put in, the more that you're gonna get out of it. Sometimes we see the top leaders and we're like, we assume that this is their business, we assume that this is their chat. Imagine if they had that mindset when they came in. They came into this thinking, yo, I'm gonna add as much value to this as I possibly can. I'm gonna imagine that this is like my team, that I have 50 affiliates on my team, and I'm gonna add as much value, I'm gonna receive as much value, and then eventually, guess what? They had 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 affiliates on their team because they actually took it seriously. All right, guys. We do have the Sunday vision call in 20 minutes. Appreciate you guys. Whatever you guys need, let me know. And I'll see you guys next week. And let's knock out those couple chapters. All right. Appreciate y'all.